There we go. We've
Well
remembered to hit record this week. So thanks for coming on, guys. I know there's a few people who were going to join us tonight, but I forgot to send them the link. So it's always if you don't send them the link, and they can't join us. So they've received this. But what I wanted to talk about tonight was the importance of goals and going through the process, no matter what the actual end destination is. Because not everybody is going to want to walk on stage, you know, and some are going to be scared about walking on stage for the first time. It's a daunting kind of experience. I remember the first time I actually kind of walked on stage. It was, you know, a long time ago. But I actually liked the idea of it. You know, in fact, when I turned up at the show, I remember I was only 19 years old. I remember looking at all the guys on stage thinking I could do better than those. You know, so as soon as I got on stage, I was there. I was in my element, and it's the first time I ever walked on stage. You know, so for me, being on stage is a natural kind of thing. But it's not everybody. You know, some people there's a lot of stress that goes with that. But whether you're going to compete or you're not going to compete, at least go through the process and give it your all, you know, to understand what it's like to go through that. You know, understand that to actually stick to something takes discipline. To understand, you know, to ask more of yourself than most people can't actually understand why you'd be doing that. You know, it takes a lot of it takes a lot of mental strength. Yeah. So this morning the alarm went off 4:45, and I literally just got out of bed. That's it. Turned the phone off. Didn't even think about it. Got out of bed. So once it's actually becoming a habit like that, and a good habit, as it were, and you know things are getting easier. You know, some people say it takes 66 days to create a habit. Some people, they used to say, well, it took 3 weeks to create a habit, when in fact, you know, 66 is a kind of average. You know, some people say it took 80 days, you know, and some people can't even create a habit after 80 days. So it really depends on the individual, you know. But if we can get into these good habits, whatever they are, weighing our food, you know, getting up early, doing things, whatever that habit is that can benefit you, then it can only be good for us in another walk of life as well. You know, so although we're getting ready to get ourselves in great condition, we're going through a process of that. Maybe the process is getting on stage, maybe it's not getting on stage. But what else can we actually take the lessons we're learning, and then actually implement them into other parts of our life? So that's a kind of interesting kind of a way of looking at things, I think. You know, so whether or not, you know, you're going to compete, you're not going to compete, at least give it 100%. You know, give it a good crack of the whip, and understand what your body personally is going through, and understand how difficult it is, you know, because it's not easy. So that's one thing I wanted to talk about, like the goal setting yourself a goal, a realistic goal. You know, and that's why we kind of, or I think it's a good idea to look at something like 6 months to kind of get yourself in a really good condition. Because if you're looking to do it in a smaller amount of time, yes, you can do it, but the amount of changes that you really need to make are quite dramatic, really. And yes, you can do it. I helped a guy a couple of years ago, and we were looking to get him ready for a show the following year. And then all of a sudden, he kind of said to me, look, can you get me ready for this show in, I think it was 6 weeks or 7 weeks time? You know, so we went from 52 weeks to 7 weeks, you know. And yeah, we got him in condition, and he looked good. But what he had to do to get in that condition wasn't easy. And it was so dramatic, all the changes that he had to make. It wasn't sustainable, you know, and not that you want to walk around with veins running through your abs, you know, and being that lean on a day-to-day basis. But to actually kind of get yourself in really good condition and feel comfortable and have it as a part of your lifestyle is a kind of achievable thing. But if we look at that, to do that, then we really need to make changes that are sustainable, that can change your lifestyle. And if we can do that and we can make those kind of changes, then we can actually achieve some really, really cool things. And so look at the long-term kind of goal rather than the short-term goal. So my goal isn't necessarily to walk on stage. Walking on stage is just a mini goal to where I want to get. You could look at it, wow, that's a bit of a mini goal, but it is, the bigger goal is to be pain-free, by December and to have no pain in my lower back. That would be ideally the goal, to actually be pain-free, because for the last few years I've been in constant pain, from my back. So to get in good condition, to strengthen up my core muscles, to lose that body fat that I was carrying around my waist and my back, which was causing stress on my body, then the end goal would be to actually be in good health and feel good and be pain-free. To go through that mini goal, i.e. walking on stage, is just a kind of, just a kind of target to aim for, really. So understand the process, understand the goals, understand the realistic expectations, that we kind of put on ourselves, and this is something that can constantly change, from time to time. Doesn't necessarily, hey Tess, it doesn't necessarily have to be, this is our goal. We can't deviate from our goal. That's a silly kind of thing. Have a goal, understand that there's different ways to get to that goal. Sometimes we have to change the route to get to the goal. We don't necessarily have to change the goal. We can change the path that we're getting there, or indeed sometimes change the goal for a better goal. But yeah, so look at what we're doing, how we're getting there, and the kind of the process that we're going through. So that's the first thing I wanted to talk about. The second thing, Tess actually asked me to bring up or talk about, and that was the importance of water. So it's good that she's kind of just joined us now. And there she is. Look, she's got a bottle of water in her hand as well. So that's kind of cool. Well done, Tess. And, there's so much information around about water. All you can do is, I posted something earlier, and it amazes me. It amazes me just how important water is. I know basically we're pretty much made up of water. From 50 to 80%, we're kind of water, depending on the size of us. So if you take an average of like 70, 75% made up of water, that's a lot of water. When you actually kind of understand that we're mainly made up of water, I think it's easy to kind of appreciate just how important water is for basic kind of functions of the body. It kind of helps with boost metabolism. The first thing I have when I get up, get up in the morning is an ice cold pint of water. I weigh myself, I then log it on the fridge, I then open the fridge and I drink a pint of water. And usually by the time I finish training, which would probably be about 7:30, I'd have probably drunk maybe nearly 2 litres of water by about 7:30. 1.5 litres to 2 litres I'd have drunk by about 7:30. So it boosts your metabolism, aids in your digestion, so it really, really helps with body functions. If you have headaches and stuff like that, migraines and bits and pieces like that, obviously it helps with that. They say, if you're dehydrated, that can bring on headaches. And I know I don't suffer with headaches. Touch wood, I've never ever suffered with migraines. But I know sometimes, very seldom when I have got a headache, it's usually because I've not drunk so much water. And I can think, actually, I haven't had that much water, and I'm just feeling that kind of dull ache, you know. So I start drinking water, and after I've drunk a couple of pints of water, usually it kind of subsides. It improves our weight loss as well. You know, so it's really interesting that drinking water improves weight loss. Now, obviously, it helps with the digestion and breakdown of fat cells. But also, if you think about it realistically, if you're drinking more and more water, you might not necessarily be drinking other fluids that would potentially help you put on weight. You know, so you could be drinking fizzy drinks, you could be drinking teas and coffees and bits and pieces like that, which have got calories in. Whereas if you're drinking more water, you won't be drinking as much other fluids. So therefore, it can help with weight loss. And obviously, it reduces and flushes out all your toxins, helps with your kidneys. I mean, I could go on and go on and go on just how important water is. You know, if you're dehydrated by just a small percent, well, then your strength is going to come down a lot. You know, so if you're training in the gym and you're looking to use resistance training, as we do, then if you're dehydrated by just like 10%, you can drop your strength, and you'll notice that as well. So make sure you're hydrated. It usually takes about an hour or so to hydrate before you get to the gym. So make sure you're drinking, you know, the night before you might be losing fluids through the night, but I try to have a pint of water as soon as I've kind of weighed myself. And that's about 5 o'clock. I hit the gym at 6:30. So about 6:30, I probably drank a pint and a half of fluid then through the training. So it really, really is really important. In fact, you know, I think most people would notice a massive difference if, one, they increase their water, and two, they just watch the amount of sugar they took in their diet. Now, a lot of people would have a great kind of improvement on health, and people who are trying to lose weight, that would be a massive, massive improvement. So water is so, so important. And it's okay taking a bottle with you to the gym, but make sure you drink the bottle. You know, make sure you drink the bottle. Mine, for when I train, I know I've trained with you, Neil, I've trained with Tess. Mine, you see, it's a pink color. It's got glycofuge in it. So it's a liquid carbohydrate. So I'm getting carbs into my body as quick as I possibly can. You know, so when we're doing like cardio work and walking around and all that kind of stuff, we're kind of burning fat because it's the easiest energy source. But when we're actually using resistance training, then we're looking at glycogen, you know, within the muscle. So we really want to try to replenish that glycogen as quick as we can. So if I'm drinking liquid carbs or drinking that, then it's going to go into that, and it's going to help me train longer and sustain my actual training. So I would say if you're looking at a fluid, and if you're looking at glycogen as well, then look at something like glycofuge or one of those kind of carb drinks. The other thing that I wanted to bring up, again, Tess brought this up, and it made me kind of think about this. I mean, I'm training with both Neil tomorrow, and I'm also training with Tess tomorrow as well. But how hard do we train? How hard do you actually train? Well, in reality, you know, you don't necessarily have to train that hard to get muscle kind of breakdown for growth, for strength, you know. Now, it's not like, okay, let's just pick up the smallest dumbbells and do like a set of 10, and it's like, I got nothing out of that at all. You're not going to grow like that. We understand. There needs to be a certain amount of resistance. But, you know, if you're doing a set of 10 repetitions, the way I kind of look at it, and I know Neil will understand this, and we'll go through this as well, Test tomorrow, is if our goal is, say, 10 repetitions, you know, I really want to be failing and finding it really, really, really tough about 6 or 7 reps, something like that, you know. So then my form starts to kind of creep in and change a little bit. So I start using other muscles to move the weight by momentum or whatever. Secondary muscles come in. So then I will put the weight down. All right, so I won't let my form suffer. I will put the weight down, I'll shake it out, and then I'll find another 2 or 3 reps. You know, if we're doing, say, week 2, between 14 and 18 reps, I will probably fail around about 9, maybe something like that. Then I will find another 3 or 4, shake it out, find another 2 or 3. So I'll probably be aiming for about 15 reps. But, you know, if I can hit 14, 15 reps kind of easy, then that weight's really not really heavy enough. If I can't do 14 reps and I can only do like 6 or 7, then it's way too heavy, you know. And if you look at week 1, when we are looking at a heavy week and we're looking at between 6 and 10 reps, you know, if you can't do, say, 6 reps and you're getting to 3 or 4 and you're really kind of struggling, then it's too heavy. You know, if you're getting to, say, 5 or 6 and it's really starting to get tough, you're probably around the right kind of rep range to get another 1 or 2 out of that comfortably, especially if we're looking at the correct form and technique. You know, and we're not talking about just pumping some reps out as quick as we can, you know, half reps and kind of wobbly throw-ups that you kind of see some people throwing around in the gym, and you kind of think, whoa. You know, I'm glad that hasn't come out of his hand, because the way they're throwing that weight up is dangerous. You know, so if you're actually looking at the speed and the tempo of the rep that we do, so maybe 2, 3 and count, something like that. So it's a slow rep, and your breathing's correct, all that kind of stuff. You're concentrating on the muscle. Your mind is where the muscle is. You're flexing the muscle, you know, throughout the kind of exercise, which takes time and understanding how to do that. Then you're going to be training sensibly enough. You're going to reduce the possibility of injury, and with the kind of rep range we're talking around, it should be good to try to keep that injury to a minimum, but maximize the amount of muscle growth. Obviously, muscle growth isn't just about training, as we know. It's very, very much about nutrition and also about recuperation, you know, and obviously getting the right type of fluids in there as well. So if you're getting enough water, your macros are pretty much bang on where they need to be, and you're getting enough rest, then you will get muscle growth and you'll get stronger. You know, if any of those kind of things are missing, then the chances are you won't get the results that you want to get. So all those different kind of facets are as important as one another. It's not like I've got to train really, really, really hard and this is what's going to actually make me get stronger and bigger. No. I've got to eat and forget the training. No. You've got to do everything, and you've got to rest as well. Make sure you're getting good sleep. So I hope going over the goal setting, you know, and understand the process that we're going through was something to think about. Even if you're not going to compete, give it as much as you possibly can. Understand what you're eating and how you're eating it, you know, and the amount of calories you need to go where you need to go. You know, so if you want to lose a little bit of weight, then fine. We know this is where the calories we need. If we want to gain a little bit, then we know that's how many calories we need to go. And one thing that you want to be doing over, you know, the coming weeks is understand exactly what calories you are on and how you're feeling. You know, how you're feeling with the calories you're on, with the breakdown of the macros you're taking within those calories. Because at the end of the day, like I said, what I began to call, it's about what's sustainable. If something's not sustainable, then it won't be a lifestyle. You know, if you're just trying to get from A to B and that's it, and I see this with people, you know, they get from A to B and it's, you know, they do it the wrong way, and then when they walk on stage, the next day they're eating gâteaux, they're eating sweets, they're eating everything they can stick in their mouth, and they've put on 10, 15 pounds by the end of the week. That is not clever. It's not sensible, it's not clever, it's not intelligent. In fact, it's a bad thing to do. Fine, when you've dieted, the most sensible thing to do once you've actually got to where you want after a competition is reverse diet. And we can talk about that on another day, That's when we increase the calories slowly over a set period of time so your body adjusts to it. But where people, they go all wrong, they've hit the goal, they've done the competition or whatever they've done, and all of a sudden it's like, right, let's get as much in as we can. And you see them posting on Facebook, you know, in McDonald's, 45 burgers, you know, the chips, and then they're at KFC, then they're going to have some ice cream and some chocolate and all that kind of stuff. I used to do that. Trust me, my first or second competition, I done that, and they got the doctors out to me because I had like food poisoning. You know, my stomach had swollen up so much. I was in a really, really bad way, and it was kind of dangerous. You know? So I kind of learnt my lesson then, and I just had the chocolate gatos after that. But now I don't. You know, so now it's all good. So goal setting, water, the importance of water, and obviously how hard to train. You know, and as we train together on a weekly basis, you'll see just how to train and improve your training and techniques and strength. Cool. Has anybody got any questions?
Yeah, so where did you get, is it Glyafuse, Kenny, you said?
Glycafuge, mate. Glycafuge. You can get it on Amazon. I'll send you a link over, Neil. Like I said, it's not a Vi product. It's got nothing to do with us, you know, but you can get it off Amazon. There are some other ones as well, which are maybe a little bit cheaper. I get Glycafuge because it tastes good. I've got to be honest with you. I'd rather spend another £5 or whatever.
Yeah, and it tastes good.
Is
it like a dilute, is it? Or
you literally, it's a powder form. You put usually one scoop is about 25 grams of carbs. So I put 2 scoops in, but I put that in a 2-litre bottle of water, and I drink about a litre through my training, and a little bit before and a little bit after, and then I just drink the rest in the morning.
Okay.
Yeah, it's good. It will definitely help you training.
Would you recommend any other supplements like recovery or not?
You know what? I mean, you're taking a lot of the Vi products, you know. So with all the vitamins and minerals and everything else you're doing, I would say you pretty much got that covered. You could look at creatine, which is something that can help. You know, if you're getting the right type of macronutrient, you know, like good fats and good carbs and good proteins, which you are, because I'm looking at your food diary, you know, that's where you really need to. Some people say, oh, you need to have different this, that, and the other kind of supplements. You know, I think, you know, with what we're talking about, you should be pretty much covered on most things, mate.
Great. I think that was it, really.
Any questions, Lise or Tess? Cool. Okay, well, listen, thanks for joining me tonight.
Thank you, mate.
I'll pop a video over to you guys as well later on this week, but I've recorded this. I'm just going to stop the recording, and then I'll find out where we can post this as well, because it's all good having these recordings, so I'm not sure where I have to post them. Hey. Yeah. But anyway, so I'll see you in the morning, Neil, for a leg workout.
Yeah, enjoy.
Yeah, bring your legs, because you're going to need them. And Tess, I'll see you tomorrow. I think it's at 8 we're training tomorrow, hitting biceps and abs. So that'd be kind of cool. And you're starting tomorrow as well, Lisa, aren't you, on your next challenge? Yeah, to get those elusive abs. Yeah?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's the next challenge. You've done the half marathon. Next challenge is to get abs. That's where you need to go. Okay, guys.
Have a nice evening. Enjoy the rest of the
See you later. Bye-bye.
Bye.